We're at the Grand Traverse Resort and Spa at the Bear Golf Course with two people who know a lot about it. One of them on my left is Paul Galligan. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
And on my right is Justin Phillips.
Doing wonderful on this beautiful morning of the final round here at our Michigan Open.
And as to what they do, we have a story. 14 years ago at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock on Long Island, there was a disaster with how the course was set up, especially green number 7, which was too fast. It was so fast, not a single ball stayed on the green. And Phil Mickelson and his other friends were getting triple bogeys. That's not going to happen here because Justin Phillips is in charge of setting up the course and Paul Galligan is the superintendent. So Justin, away you go with how you set it up.
Great. Well, thanks, Jenny. We've beautiful conditions all week thanks to Paul and his team. The golf course is in tremendous shape. The greens, I think Paul will tell you, are probably rolling about 11.5, but most importantly, they've been very consistent. So that's what we look for. We certainly, with these green complexes, we don't need greens that are 12 or 13 or above that on the stemp meter. You have a lot of different plateaus, and the challenge of this golf course is getting it in these right spots. So yeah, the greens are great. They're consistent. My role here is I am in charge of the golf course setup as far as hole locations each day, tee placements each day. We can take a look at hole number 18, but the goal is to get a good balanced setup, I think, each day. When I come out earlier in the week, about a week ago, I'm mapping out the 4 locations for the week, so I have an idea on where I want those to go. I may adjust those a little bit throughout the week, but today being the last day, we're here on hole number 18, which we can show, but I think today's hole location is one of the tougher ones. I think we certainly want the players leading the tournament to have to hit some good shots down the stretch. I think holes 16, 17, and 18 locations are fairly difficult. We have some hole locations today, though, that I think will give way to some birdies and potential eagles. I think hole 15, players are getting there in 2. I think the location on 15 today is certainly one where we could see some eagles and could add to some excitement today.
Wow, that's going to be a fun billing to lead up to. So, Paul, tell us about what kinds of things you do that might be different from a normal day when you've got a tournament like this.
Well, the one thing that we do that's completely different is we have a shift, 2 shifts during the day. So our guys will come in the morning, get the greens mowed, remove the dew, help Justin with course setup by moving those hole locations to where he wanted them, and there's a whole variety of raking bunkers and all that kind of stuff. And then in the afternoon, we have after the golfers go through, we try to stay a couple holes behind them so we don't bother them. But we have the same crew come back in the evening, and we'll mow the fairways, the tees, the collars, the intermediates, work on bunkers, fill divots, and do some hand watering where necessary, and check other irrigation needs, and just try to clean the whole place up so tomorrow morning it looks exactly, or as close to exactly as we can, to how it was this morning. So consistency, like Justin's talked about, the greens have been rolling consistent all week long, and that's a fact. That's one of our goals, is to make it consistent so the golfer, he can adjust, after the first 3 or 4 holes on day 1, or even the practice round, and hope and know that the greens are going to be very similar to that, and the fairways, the way they play, is going to be very similar to that throughout the tournament. All right. So when you use the stem meter, you want to see how fast your green is rolling. There's a couple things that you want to do. One is you want to try to find the flattest spot on the green. That way, because you roll it one way, you roll it another way, and you kind of split the difference. All right. If you're going downhill a little bit, that ball's going to probably go a little farther, and then the one coming uphill probably a little bit less. And then the other thing too is you look to, if you can see which way the greens mower went that day, or the roller, it has an effect on ball roll also. So I got a spot here that I've measured before. It's kind of flat. We'll see how it goes. So I'm sure different people do this differently. I just raise it up when the ball starts rolling. That's pretty much where I stop it. I could probably affect that ball roll if I wanted to, just by manipulating this a little bit. So now we go to the same spot, same golf ball. I don't even line the golf ball up the same way, you know, so. And I hit the other golf ball. But you can see when it hit that golf ball, it was going to go a little farther that way, so it's probably slightly downhill. So now I take the tape measure, and I set it down I usually go just past the short one. And this particular green is, we've been at 11.5 all week, and right now we're at 11 feet 7 inches. So the goal was to keep them the same all week, and we feel that we have done, give or take a couple inches, we've become.
Well, there it is. Course setup is crucial, and we look forward to see what the players do with it today. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Jenny.
And thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Jim.